InfoHub recap for the week May 28th to 31st. This week, we reported that the UNDP handed over the Green State Development Strategy, GSDS Vision 2040 report. President Granger, on the occasion of the country's 53rd independence anniversary, assured that the nation's youth can expect a brighter future. And another successful government comes to you outreach hosted in Region 2. Stay with us as we take a look at these and other stories which made the headlines this week.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
On Tuesday, the Green State Development Strategy, GSDS Vision 2040 report was handed over to President David Granger by representatives of the UNDP. Isaiah Braffith filed that report.
The findings of the report are expected to provide an inclusive, prosperous, and good quality life for all Guyanese. President Granger believes the report will ensure that Guyana stays ahead of the climate change fight.
We would like to be able to go into the future providing an economically sustained existence for people, but at the same time protecting this precious asset, our environment.
President Granger also pointed out that fostering relationships with neighboring countries is a prerequisite to implementing the strategy and protecting the environment. He further added that educating Guyanese from the grassroots level on the strategy is critical.
The implementation will be frustrated unless there is education, and education at the grassroots level. The nursery level, primary and secondary level, and the tertiary level. Every citizen has got to be environmentally conscious.
Guyana will soon be moving into petroleum production. Having a strategy, the president reasoned, will better equip Guyana for the possible effects it may have on the environment.
Fortunately, we will be becoming an oil state with our eyes open by this GSDS, the Green State Development Strategy. And I think many of the other countries in different parts of the world which went into petroleum without the benefit of having this type of advice, might have suffered.
Director and representative of UN Environment, Leo Heilemann, informed that the strategy has 8 development objectives that convey 3 essential messages.
The first one is to manage the natural resource wealth. The second one is to support economic resilience and diversification. And the third one is to build human and institutional capacities.
Ministers and government officials were also urged to get intimately knowledgeable with the strategy to effectively implement the recommendations coming out of the report. Isaiah Braffith for InfoHub.
Also on Tuesday, we reported that President David Granger has given his assurance that the nation's youth can expect a brighter future with many opportunities as his government continues in its efforts to provide the good life.
During his address, President Granger noted that the coalition government is working to prepare youths to assume important roles in this future. Quote, "The central aspiration of the independence generation was to secure a better future for their children and grandchildren. Young people today can look forward to a bright future with greater confidence, enthusiasm, and hope, knowing that their government is laying a stronger foundation for a good life for them and their children." End quote. He explained that the National Youth Policy is guiding this preparation process and that this policy is based on 4 pillars: education, equality, empowerment, and employment. The Sustainable Livelihoods and Entrepreneurial Development SLED, the Hinterland Employment and Youth Service HAYES, and the Youth Innovation Project of Guyana YEPOC initiatives are examples of how government is helping to promote self-employment for young people. Young people under the coalition government are also more involved in decisions that affect them directly. Quote, "Youth today have a greater say in decision making. Young professionals and entrepreneurs are being consulted in the fashioning of our national budget. Young people's opinions and interests are taken into consideration in the development of government policies."
On Wednesday, the Government Comes to You outreach touched down in Region 2 at the Damon Square in Guyana, where residents expressed gratitude for the initiative. Let's take a look.
The government of Guyana came to Region 2 and Essequibians made the most of the opportunity to meet with the various ministries and agencies to have their issues addressed.
My name is Cleopatra Mentor.
Okay, and why are you here this morning?
I'm here to concerning housing, to get a house lot.
Okay, did you apply before?
Yes, I applied since 2013, and every time I visit the office, they just said we have to wait until the minister come on the coast for the house lot, to allot us out for the house lot.
So where are you from and where are you expecting to have it?
Well, I am from Adventure, and I'm expecting to receive my house lot this morning.
I come here because I need help. I'm a very poor lady, and I don't have my own home. I need a home, and because the place where I live in, I'm renting, and I have to pay rent and like bills and so, and it's very hard for me.
I got a little house land problem. So, and it is a force of this kind to like the service where I no notice. And that is very good. That the minister them get to the people. You understand? So it is a very nice service.
Stacey Fraser is a member of the coordinating committee for this series of outreaches by government.
For Region 2 specifically, it took early mornings, late nights, a lot of hard work, dedication, and committed public servants, persons who are committed to the greater good and really and truly want to see that citizens get the service that they deserve.
Apart from the Government Comes to You outreach, Regional Executive Officer Dennis Jaikaran Sr. also spoke of several major developmental projects currently being undertaken in Region 2.
The Supernam Waterfront project. I think that is a really, really massive project. It is of international standard, and we feel proud as Essequibians to be there. As it relates to education, recently we signed on to the design and supervision period of the construction of the Abramsville Secondary School, and this year that project is going to be awarded. So that is another plus for us in this region.
The regional administration has also started consultations for future projects.
We are expecting to provide for farmers more access road, more drainage and irrigation, rather better drainage and irrigation. And as it relates to schools and the health services, to ensure that those health centers, schools, hospitals are in good condition so that we can deliver both the education program and the health program.
More news from the outreach. Isaiah Braffett shared the good news that after 7 years of waiting, a mother of 3 became the proud owner of a house lot, compliments of the government.
Mother of 3, Idealis Smith, was the first person to be allocated a house lot at the Government Comes to You outreach in Essequibo. Smith applied in 2012 and was overjoyed to have received a house lot at Ondernemen. She is currently renting at Sparrow Dam.
I didn't really expect that, but I so excited. I so happy about it. I was fed up with the rent house. I was talking about it. If Father could help me, I got to church Sunday and I said, Father, if you could help me, could get you with a house lot. Just a house lot alone, I would do what I have to do. But I don't want to live in no more rent house anymore. Up to this morning, I was talking. This morning, I was get up and I put on my knee and pray and I was reading my Bible, the 23rd Psalm, I was praying with it. And I didn't expect to get it, and I'm so glad about it.
Reporting from Damon Square in Essequibo, I am Isaiah Braffett with videographer Leon Leung for InfoHub.
On Wednesday, the Gallery of Presidents was unveiled at the public buildings. President David Granger, along with 3 former presidents, were present for the auspicious event.
The portraits of His Excellency President David Granger and all the former presidents of Guyana all lined the wall of the public buildings. Speaker of the National Assembly, Barton Scotland.
The creation of this Gallery of Presidents is a presentation of the people of Guyana in tribute to President Arthur Raymond Chung, President Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham, President Hugh Desmond Hoyt, President Chedi Barrett Jagan, President Janet Jagan, President Samuel Archibald Anthony Hines, President Bharat Jagdeo, President Donald Rabindranath Ramottar, President David Arthur Granger, and in deep appreciation for their exceptional and dedicated service to Guyana.
The Gallery of Presidents is a public appreciation for those who have had the privilege of being president of this wonderful country. For InfoHub, Onika Bob.
Great news as Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu announced that government is mulling the idea of free tuition for studies at the University of Guyana.
Prime Minister Nagamutu noted that education plays a pivotal role in shaping a country's future both economically and socially.
David Granger and I are looking at the possibility of abolishing fees for the university in a second term. To address that issue of free access to education.
Since assuming office in 2015, the administration has been on a mission to ensure that Guyana's young people are educated and their talents nurtured. The Prime Minister drove home the fact that having a young, educated populace is the epitome of democracy.
You as new leaders can lead the country in a different way. You could take this country in the age of oil and gas and wealth and develop it in a way that we have never dreamt.
During the community meeting, residents were left satisfied after Prime Minister Nagamutu pledged to donate $100,000 in sports equipment to the Pomona Football Club to aid in the meaningful engagement of the community's youths. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
5 indigenous communities on the Essequibo coast will benefit from $3 million in grants as the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs took the opportunity on the sidelines of Wednesday's outreach to disburse checks to representatives of these communities.
I am at the Region 2 RDC building across from the Damon Square where 61 indigenous youths received grants to boost their entrepreneurial projects. The youths were drawn from Mainstay, Wayaka, St. Denis, Mashabo and Kupui. They received training under the Hinterland Employment and Youth Service Program. Officials of the respective villages poured out praise to the coalition government for providing the youths with the tools needed to become successful entrepreneurs.
We are very thankful for the government for offering this PACE initiative to all the community. Our youths have been benefiting tremendously also. There are businesses that are operating in our village like never before.
This initiative is one that was very fruitful for the communities because what I have noticed is that it has benefit not only my community, all the communities tremendously.
Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Alicok encouraged the youths to continue to persevere.
You are there as a good example of how others could follow. They don't have to reinvent the wheel because you are the ones who have tested, you made your mistakes, you corrected them, you benefited, some of you just kept on going.
The Hinterland Employment and Youth Service Program has thus far touched the lives of some 4,000 indigenous youths across the country. With videographer Tejpaul Bridgemahan, I am Seneca Thorne for InfoHub.
On Friday, we reported that in its continued fight against crime, police on Thursday night confronted and killed 3 armed bandits following a fierce gun battle on Norton Street Lodge, Georgetown.
If it wasn't basically me, I was studying, and my son. That is all I studying to tell you don't say nothing because I didn't want to hurt him.
That was an emotional Leslie as he recounted the traumatizing ordeal that took place at his Norton Street home. He said the gunmen started to become irritated after their demands for cash and jewelry could not be met. Leslie believes that if the officers did not arrive when they did, things could have gone south.
My son even asked him, telling Daddy, they can shoot you, they can shoot you. I said, no, they can shoot nobody. You lie down and relax. They tell me, keep it quiet or else they can shoot both of you. As the police come, I'm really glad that they come when they did, right? And I'm really thankful for not only my life and my son's life, that my sister-in-law them wasn't home.
Leslie also recounted that when the police arrived, the gunmen panicked, and it was then he was able to escape through a window with his son. While his son was unharmed, he suffered a broken toe. As he escaped, a shootout between the bandits and the police began that lasted over an hour. Fortunately, the only lives lost that night was that of the bandits. Leslie's sister, Vernice Lovell, said she is grateful that the police arrived when they did.
I thank God that the police was passing and was prompt on time, and at least his life has been saved. There's a few injury, but you know.
This is the second time in 2 weeks that the police intercepted armed bandits. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
Also on Friday, Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joseph Harmon, hosted a post-cabinet media conference where he highlighted important developments. Here now is post-cabinet roundup.
Cabinet met on May 28 and 30. Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joseph Harmon, said today that the latest Government Comes to You outreach held at Anne Regina Essequibo fulfilled its mandate. Critical issues were addressed.
Allocation of house lots, payment for sweeper cleaners, the availability of birth certificates, public infrastructural issues, ancestral lands issues, and university education issues.
Copies of the Green State Development Strategy Vision 2040 were formally presented to the Cabinet by United Nations Environment Program Director for Latin America and the Caribbean, Leo Hillman.
The process of completing this Green State Development Strategy began in December of 2016 with the development of a framework document and continued with the formation of 7 multi-stakeholder expert groups represented by over 130 experts from around 98 state, private, and civil society organizations. Emerging out of the multi-stakeholder expert group was the advisory committee, which met every month to review and contribute to the content.
The GSDS is now public and can be found online on the Department of the Environment website. Several hard copies are also being distributed to stakeholders. Government is in discussion with Surinamese counterparts to resolve the issues surrounding the Kanawaimo ferry operations between the two countries. Difficulties forced the stoppage of operations on May 25.
In the interim, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure has deployed the MV Sandaka to transport persons who were stranded as a result of the problems with the MV Kanawaimo. The Ministers of Public Infrastructure and Foreign Affairs are in discussions with their Surinamese counterpart on the way forward for a continuation of the ferry service.
Cabinet approved attendance of officials at several international forums and conferences. These include the Regional Trade Policy Course in Trinidad, the 8th EITI Conference in France, and in Honduras, the Intergovernmental Meeting for the Protection and the Development of the Marine Environment. The ministerial group also received the annual reports for several agencies. These included the New Guyana Marketing Corporation's 2016 report.
Cabinet received and considered the annual report of the Guyana Marketing Corporation for the year 2016. It also received and considered the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute for the year 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015, and the Guyana Sugar Corporation report for the years 2016 and 2017. Cabinet has directed that these reports be laid in the National Assembly as is required by law.
Cabinet also gave its no objection to several contracts, including one for the construction of an asphaltic farm-to-market unvoact access road. Cabinet also expressed its full confidence in Guyana Police Force's ability to arrest crime countrywide.
The Guyana Police Force is now better led. There's a better cadre of senior officers. There's a better cadre of intelligence officers who are now ensuring that police operations are intelligence-led and intelligence-driven.
Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
On Thursday, we brought you more success stories coming out from the latest government outreach. Paul McAdam reported that a matriarch of a Kapui family is set to get her first ever birth certificate after receiving assistance during the outreach.
For many coastlanders, having documentation such as birth certificates and identification cards are routine. However, for some of Guyana's hinterland residents, the effort to acquire these can be difficult. The Edwards family, including 83-year-old Jean Edwards, were among the hundreds of Essequibo residents who attended the May 29 Government Comes to You outreach, which was held at Damon Square and Regina. Her daughter-in-law, Grace Edwards, spoke with DPI.
I have tried before applying for birth certificates for my in-laws, but we haven't got through. We just get in a small paperback, and as today we come and put our effort to come out to see that we can get it.
And got it, the Edwards family did. Grace married into that family 26 years ago, and she's been attempting to get birth certificates ever since.
It is important he cannot get his pension because of not having a birth certificate. My mother-in-law get through, but they still asking for it. She have the old ID card. So now, once she got the birth certificate, I know she will get the new one.
Grace welcomed the outreach initiative.
Well, it is good, very good. I know it will benefit most of us in this region, because not only Kapui, it have from other villages.
The family's documentation, including Jean Edwards' first ever birth certificate, should be available within the next month. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
A massive campaign is underway that will see the installation of streetlights along the highway in Region 2.
This remarkable government initiative was announced by Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson at a recently concluded community engagement in Queenstown on the Essequibo coast.
And we'll ensure that at night the entire from Supernam all the way to Charity is well lit, and that will be done this year, 2019.
Minister Patterson informed InfoHub that the tender for the contract to install lights from Maria's Lodge to Colin is in its evaluation phase and is estimated to cost approximately $12 million. This will see 110 lamps being fitted in place in those areas. The lights are expected to fill the gaps along the carriageway that are poorly lit. Additionally, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure is set to put 35 streetlights in the village of Queenstown by August. Residents at the community engagement were happy with the announcements and eagerly gave their opinions.
Many parts of the village very, very dark in the evenings, and so this will definitely be a boost to the security in Queenstown.
Hearing that the minister said that we're going to get these lights coming on stream, I feel very happy, and I'm certain that all the people within the community will be very excited about that.
I feel comfortable with the street lights because I'm living down Lime Dam, and the dam is very dark when we have to go down. And it's a very long dam, and we need street light to protect our young youth.
For InfoHub, Shaquille Bourne.
In other news reported on Thursday, Minister of Finance Winston Jordan revealed that recent actions by some previously trusted public servants have proven that there are moles in various ministries.
Finance Minister Winston Jordan highlighted a recent example of his personal information being posted on a opposition supporter's Facebook page.
The documents were my duty-free concession letter for the importation of a car, the customs entry that was used to, you have to fill up to bring in the car, the lodgement note that you normally got lodged with GRA, and the invoice for the car. All of this was put on Facebook the day before, on the Friday. And it appeared on a PPP Member of Parliament page.
It is clear that the Guyana Revenue Authority staffer, he noted, copied the documents and sent them to the opposition MP.
There was nothing corrupt. I'm entitled to duty free as a politician. I waited 4 years to take it. I'm entitled to import any car that I wish, pay for it, and so on. So there's nothing corrupt.
The move, the minister said, is intended to send two brazen messages.
One, we know your business, and we can put it out there. And two, we can tell the population, you see all them politicians, you see, them getting duty free, you getting duty free. Them could buy car, you can't buy car. These subliminal messages.
That day, it was the minister's information, and the next day, it could be anyone else's, he explained.
We strove so hard to repair the image of GRA under a previous regime when confidential information was being passed to the opposition about who paid taxes, how much they pay, who also they could squeeze you. And here it is, we fought so hard to remove that image of GRA, and we still got sleepers in GRA who could be doing such thing to a minister. What happened to your average files? And that one I couldn't take.
The minister warned that all public servants must be professional while performing their duties.
We're not targeting anybody. We ask only that public servants be of public service. Obey the rules of the public service. If you don't like it, you can resign.
The GRA's Commissioner General has since been instructed to find the individuals responsible for the breach and deal with them condignly. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Presenting their letters of credence to President David Granger on Wednesday were the new ambassador of Indonesia to Guyana, Yulang Pujianto, and High Commissioner of Ghana to Guyana, Professor Abena Busia.
President Granger underscored that Guyana looks forward to working closely with both Indonesia and Ghana at the bilateral and multilateral levels to ensure international peace and security, and to encourage international global efforts to reduce adverse effects of climate change. Guyana is preparing to host a state visit for President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo.
Guyana prepares to host the state visit of your President on 11-12 June. We are confident that this visit will result in practical measures aimed at enhancing relations and cooperation between our two states, particularly in the fields of agriculture, culture, energy, environment, investment, petroleum production, private sector cooperation, tourism, and transportation.
High Commissioner of Ghana to Guyana, Professor Abena Busia.
It is my hope that during my tenure, I will be able to translate our bilateral ties into vibrant economic cooperation with the private sector, which is regarded as the engine of growth for the mutual benefit of our two countries. Specifically, areas of trade and investment, agriculture, education, culture, and new approaches to heritage tourism.
Ambassador Pujianto assured President Granger that during his tenure here, he will continue to strengthen the cordial ties enjoyed by both countries, which are founded on mutual non-interference in each other's internal affairs.
Indonesia and Guyana share many common interests in global affairs.
Guyana and Indonesia established formal diplomatic relations on August 27, 1999, while Guyana and Ghana have enjoyed cordial relations since May 14, 1979. For InfoHub, Rebecca Ganesh.
This has been InfoHub Recap. Remember to subscribe to our website for more stories and follow us on our social media platforms. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye.